Hi, I'm Blisy. Hey guys, if you enjoy this video, I appreciate a like, comment, sub, and little bell notification. Thanks so much, enjoy. Okay, so for RNGing LATIOS or LATIAS, you're going to save in front of the TV right here before you end up resetting your game. Okay, so once you save in front of the television, you're going to need a few programs. You're going to need EonTimer. I always use the Java version. It's better and doesn't have all the glitches. And then you're going to need Pokefinder. RNG Reporter works too, but Pokefinder is basically the newer version that Admiral Fish is doing. For RNG Reporter, it's like a multi-platform tool, so you can get it on Mac OS and stuff instead of just Windows. Gen 3 and 4 are basically fully supported in this, so I'm going to start linking that in the description instead now, instead of RNG Reporter, but they function basically the same. So in Pokefinder, you're going to go into Stationery, and you're going to need to make a profile for your game, which is really nice actually, because now that profiles are supported for like every single game. You're going to do method 1 for LATIAS or LATIOS. Starting frame should be 1. The profile will have your TID and SID saved. Here's the inputter. You can click like edit or whatever on this kind of thing, or new here and cancel. So for the seed, Ruby and Sapphire is 5A0. Emerald, you can just leave that blank. It doesn't matter. So in this video, I'm only going for a shiny because Ruby and Sapphire, the roaming Pokemon are bugged, so you can only have a maximum of 31 in HP. You can only have a maximum of 7 in attack, and all the other IVs are going to be 0. But the nice part is it's not shiny locked, so you can still shiny hunt. Go for the shiny on this one. And you can go for good nature as well if you'd like. In Emerald, it doesn't have this issue. You can get the regular Emerald IVs on these roamers, so that's nice at least. So I'm going to check shiny only here and just search. And these are all the shiny spreads that I have available to me for my method 1 Pokemon. So this is the one I'm going to have to aim for. Again, these IVs are wrong. The way it'll probably show up in the game is the HP will be 8. It will be correct. I'm not positive how the attack will show up, but we'll learn from that. And the rest of them, these will always be 0. So I'm going to be aiming for frame 3224. So what you put into EonTimer, calibration, you should leave blank to start with. The pre-timer, I set to 5,000. Pre-timer is just, the countdown basically. And the target frame is going to be 3224. Now, the lattes spawn 3 frames after you press A, so you can actually just set this to 3221, or subtract 3 basically from the frame you're aiming for. This is only a 3-frame difference. It's not that big. If you don't want to do the subtraction thing, you can leave this at 3224 and then just use the typing in, let's say I hit 3255 or whatever like that, and then you could hit update, and you can use the calibration feature just like on its own, but I always like to be as accurate as possible and set that to 3221. So with that out of the way, you're just going to start your Eon timer and soft reset your game. Okay, so you hit start on the first timer, which is the pre-timer that just counts down. On the 0, you just soft reset your game, LR start select, and you mash the text boxes on this TV until it's the last one with no arrow. In English, I think it's 4 text boxes. In Japanese, it's 5 text boxes. And in Emerald version, it is the box, whether it's LATIOS or LATIA, like which color you have to pick. And then when this countdown hits 0, you just hit A to encounter the Lati, or to, start the roaming process. All right, the timer is only at 3 seconds, and so you hit A when this hits 0, and then you just leave. Something I failed to mention at the start of the video that I should discuss now is that it's very important to, it's not very important, but it's extremely helpful to have LATIAS already in your Pokedex. Because what you're going to do is run in and out of this grass to try and encounter it over and over again. And until you do, it'll take forever. I've just cut to when I encounter it. And one of the most helpful things is to have it traded from a prior game, and that's extremely helpful because You can then check its Pokedex entry over and over again. It's not 100% required because eventually it will end up in the grass right outside of Slateport there. But having it out is just, having it in the decks is so helpful because you can just keep checking the map and you can adjust routes, and it's really nice to know where the Lati is. And so on your first capture, it's probably not going to be a shiny, which is no big deal. You just check it and you open its stat screen, and you're going to type its stats and nature into you're going to check its two stats, so using a stat calc because you only need to check the two along with the nature, and then you're going to type then you're going to look for the IVs in Pokefinder, not its actual stats, and the only one you can really look easily for is the HP stat, and so once you find that, you're going to have to make your adjustment. Okay, so in Pokefinder, you're going to look for the stats. So I didn't get a shiny. You're going to uncheck shiny only. And you're going to look for the stats of the Lati that you found. I actually know which one I hit already. But basically, basically, you look for the stats. I don't know why. You look for the stats and potential nature that you hit to see what you could have found. And the issue again is that you can only check these two stats, but once you check them, you know which you hit.
Okay, so I'm at the same position as last time.
Eon Timer,
my timer hit 0 and I hit A.
Soft reset your game.
And you basically do the whole exact LATIOS search again. As you can see, I'm just checking in my Pokedex to see what route it's on, and I just go back and forth like crazy. Walking in and out of this route is the best way, because technically going into the building and leaving counts as changing routes. So LATIOS will move just all the time, and as you can see, I sped this up 400%. This is extremely tedious, and if you don't have LATIOS in your Pokedex, you're gonna have to do what I was doing in the last clip, which is running around in the grass with a repel on with a Pokemon who has higher level than all the Pokemon in the area, but LATIOS will encounter. Now, as you can see, it's on this route, and I'm just gonna run down here again, clip sped up to 200% just for brevity's sake, and run around, and you're going to get your shiny LATIOS or LATIAS eventually. It's really simple. It's just like any other normal method 1 RNG abuse, but the main difference is the specific things you're going to have to do. And what I'm referring to there is you have to repel in that grass to make sure, like this feel I had is higher level than everything else. I'm using a super repel, so nothing like below 30 will show up, and there's nothing below 30 on this route except the LATIOS. You're also going to have to run in and out of that building to get LATIOS to move between routes fast. And, it's just in general a very tedious RNG abuse, but it's worth it to get the shiny, in my opinion. And in Emerald, you can actually go for decent stats. But yeah, I got a naive LATIOS, and that's actually not the worst thing to trade up and hypertrain. That's another plus, since hypertraining exists, the IV glitch doesn't matter unless you're trying to use this in Gen 3. And other than that, if you've got any questions, leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.